Just a minute. Hearing us, right? Let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So the main agenda is like these are HTML web pages, but at the back end, like how do you develop a Spring Boot application and how the data should be retrieved from the database. And the main thing is like how do you proceed in developing a backend service and both the database tables. All right. So the thing you see is HTML pages, and there are some buttons and home pages and kind of buttons and anchor URLs. That's all. But if you go down, it seems like there are some kitchen appliances you can see the here. But in general, you know like how the e-cart work, right? It's almost similar to this. I mean, it is similar to them. Yeah, you can see there is some products and its relevant price there. So the particular item has some properties. It related to something, or it is related to kitchen, or it is a kitchen appliance, and everything is a kitchen appliance here. But the item name and its property and its price and all year listed here, and you can see it's all dummy data. But in real case, what you should do is like this kind of data gets from the backend. I mean, when I say backend, in the sense from a Spring Boot application, or it could be anything, any enterprise application. But as you all learning Java, so Spring Boot is one of the Java framework which is developed on Java, and it is mostly used for enterprise applications. So, and yeah, in Spring, in order to get the data, there are two ways. One is like through REST API, where is like Spring Boot provides a like a functionality. The framework provides a functionality where you can produce a REST APIs. For now, you can just listen. If you get any doubts, you can ask me later. REST APIs in the sense like it actually works through HTTP network. When I say HTTP network, is it's like it's a kind of protocol that actually makes you like a connect with the two different services or different servers through internet, and it has some protocols. You need to follow them carefully, and the same thing should be implemented in the Spring Boot application. Okay, and when it comes to an application, the main important thing is data. So when you see something, you should get an idea like what are the important data fields for this. Suppose anyone can answer me this one. You can see the fourth product, right? What it is and what is the price and name of it and what like how it works and all. So if anyone can tell me that what are the data fields you collect with this product, like its name and like whatever you see here and whatever it comes to your mind. Anyone, anything is fine. I just want to know your understanding. No?
Details.
Yeah, go on.
Details of the product.
Sorry. Someone is saying I'm not able to hear you properly. Maybe.
Sumant, please go on properly.
Details of the product.
Like particularly what it is and like there are particular data things, right? Like suppose see it's a tea kettle, right? It works on electricity, and you can say that it's an electronic or electric component, and it has some price like $499, and what it is used for. Like the category is also important when you sell a product. That is also important. These kind of data inputs are required in order to display an item on the web page. But the picture is also important because sometimes these pictures also like get dynamically That's another topic. We will see that later. The main important thing is data. Any application, if you see it, any even Amazon or anything, if you see that, the first thing you see a picture, but what runs behind is actually the data, its price, and what it is used for, the main uses of it, and its category, where it belongs to. Is it electronic code? Is it a kitchen appliance? Or something related to that. In our case, this application is completely kitchen appliances, home and kitchen appliances. So there could be some electronic goods or some physical goods. In case if you see the product too, which is like to help to roast the any roti or any thing like cooked on fire. So it's it's a stainless steel. It could be the product, but its application is completely different from this tea kettle or the egg boiler. It's something else. I think it's an holder or something to prevent the eateries to get wasted when it contacted with air or something. Okay, these kind of data inputs you need to guess quickly, or else like you can note it down. You can do at first like it seems difficult, but if you go through and you get practice and all, so you can easily identify later. So those are the main things. When you see something on the internet, you need to get an idea like what are the data inputs like or data fields I need to think of first, and later based on this you can define a database table, because at final anything related to the internet application or a software, the main important thing is data. Okay, even in our case, like if you see us, most of us are logged in with our names, uh, and it's behind we have a Gmail ID and your name, the main important things I can see here now. Yeah, it's like I don't see you here, but the what I see your name. It's a data field. What the data field type is your name, and back in the behind, what actually makes you unique, right? That's your email ID. That's also like a data field. So those kind of things are important at first for designing an application. Not this one, any application. Based on that, you can define a data table. It's actually a transactional data. When I say data, the transactional data means it can be used throughout entire application whenever you require. There are two kinds of data. One is processing data. The processing data is like it's getting like erased after that particular task is completed. But when it comes to transactional data, it actually stays in the database and it can be used in any time. It's not like a two process. When the process is completed, the data might be like forgotten or like erased from the main memory. It's not like that. When transactional data is, it can be reused and it's like getting stored in the or persisted in the database. So I think you like, do you get any idea like what I'm trying to say? Like the importance of data. Please say yes or no. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
understand.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, got it. So yeah, the application development starts from the data. You have to decide on that first, and after that you can go with the other functionality. So the second thing here is these things should be get dynamically to here, right? You actually define it in the backend. So suppose say there's a product one here. Today it could be $199, but tomorrow it changes. Maybe due to inflation, suppose say let's say the product price is increased to $200 or 299 $300 or something. So in such case, if you fix this price on UI part, what it happens is like in order to change this again, what you should do is like you need to get to the web application or the HTML pages, static pages, and you have to change the price there, and again you need to redeploy on the servers, which is actually very difficult and a hectic task. Things go wrong usually. So if you get this data from a database, where the database resides in the backend, and you can easily change them, you can easily modify the data there. You don't have to deploy. Okay, whenever this application gets like loaded, the data gets from backend from the database table to the front end page, and there it gets displayed. It can be dynamically changed rather than a static one. Okay, that's why database is important in like more number as well to store the data. There also like dynamically you can change the data. Okay, but how do we get this data from database to front end part? Here we come like the Spring framework in Java, like comes to rescue. It actually works like a server in the sense like I'll give you a simple example. If you all go to any restaurant, the first thing you comes to meet you like the server, right? The server like ask you what you want and something. He might give you a menu or something. It's you can think of the menu as a UI part, okay? And the server takes the order from you and he goes back to the kitchen and he tells the chef like that certain guy wants this one and he prepares the backend like you can say that chef has a database there, okay, and the server again pick up your food and get back to you and serves you at your table. So this is a like it's a lame example, but still I think you get the idea. So in the same way, our Spring Boot application in between with the UI part and the database, it works as a server, and the UI part actually requests for data. Suppose say I want to know the all the products available in the database. It makes a call to the Spring Boot application, and the Spring Boot application goes to the database and asks for the data. Like there are basic queries like select and like in order to fetch the data from database, select is the query to get the data, and the Spring Boot application makes a select query transaction there and gets the data and push that data back to UI application, where the UI application actually renders the data whatever the data resides in the database. So in general, like the UI application might be accessed from many clients. When I say client is like many users can consume this particular UI part. Suppose say we have Sumant and Navina and Ganesh and all, right? They all wanted to buy a fridge from here, okay. You can see there is something saying mega sales or something because this particular kitchen appliances are selling an offer like compared to Amazon and Flipkart. You wanted to buy this one, so the first thing you do is like in general, all of us like a comparison the product and the price, right? The same way, you check the price and you need to buy this one. You want to buy this one. In such case, you prepare that like a transaction or to buy or check out an address and all. Um, so so like these kind of data you need to think of, like suppose say when you are going on Amazon to buy something, the first thing you do is like whether you sign up. If you don't have any account, for that like you will provide some data, your mobile number, email ID, or something that is required at the time of sign up. Okay, when you at the time of login, like you might be username and password is required, and you log in and you add products based on your interest and you check out. And at the time of checkout, if you haven't entered any address, it might ask you for that as well. So you'll do that as well. These kind of data inputs are like are required based on the application type. Like all of the applications may not need like such kind of data. Suppose say there is an OTT platform like Amazon or else like Netflix. There you won't need like entering your address. It only asks you like the credit card details or debit card details and your name and mobile number. That's it. But in case of e-card, any e-card application that requires address to deliver your products. So based on the application type, you need to come up with an idea like what kind of data is required. So I just want to ask you because it's same as any other e-card. Okay. So user profile. So you can see the sign up page, right? I hope, yeah. So it is asking for some other data fields here. Do you think anything missing here? Anyone can answer. Hello.
Guys, please respond if you
If you
know.
don't respond, like I think it as like you all understood, then I'll move on. You can feel free to ask me any questions. I'm just giving you an overview. Later that, how do you proceed with the development and all? If you understood this one, and then I can move on to the development part. No, then fine.
Maybe
There is no
enough, sir.
change.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, Sai and Sumant.
There is okay.
Okay.
That is okay. That is okay.
Fine. Yeah. So you got the basic idea right here. Everyone, you can give me thumbs up or something. There's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
okay. So let me walk you through this application first. This is
So
home
if
page.
you have any doubts, please ask to Praveen. Feel free to ask. Don't worry about that, please. Because it is a total overview of the project. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Let me walk you through this application first, then you'll understand. This is a home page. It just says that welcome to. It's a static page. Usually, it won't stay static in real scenario. Whenever you can click on it, it will take you there on that particular product and with the some information. And you can see some. There is a product category here. When it says category in the home and kitchen appliances, there could be two. One is home and the other one kitchen. If I click on this one, so it is taking you to the home appliances. You can see washing machine, refrigerator, ovens and all, right? And it is also giving you a button to add to cart. Right? This okay. Now I think you might get some idea here what is the application is doing. So all of you aware of this Amazon and Flipkart, right? I think I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
you might
Yeah.
all shopping there, how it works. Yeah. So the basic idea is most important first. So you can see that, right? It's an Voltas air conditioner, and it is giving you some specification regarding this one. Some people might need 1 ton, or some people might need 2 tons based on their own space and all. And the 3 star based on the power saving mode, like it could be 5 star, 3 star, 2 star, and the cost as well. All these factors are important when you want to buy this one. So those things are important for the customer as well because he's buying a particular product. Okay. It means like the thing is like we need to provide this data so customer can make a decision to buy it or not. If you don't provide anything, what it would purchase on, like there's a certain variables you would keep in mind when you are any customer would buy, right? So those are data fields. This picture is something else, and this data is everything else that speaks for this particular picture. Okay, yeah, and add to cart, like when you gone through this category and you might have added something to this add to cart, but here the name says quite wrong. It could be just cart or something. About is like about the application or something. A blog is like related to this one, like what are the kitchen appliances and all. And one more thing, FAQs, in case if the user has any, like suppose say all of us have this kind of doubts, like if the product is not working, what is the written policy and all. These are just FAQs. And contact us in case if you want to connect with this particular vendor or with the website owner. And this is your user profile. Basically, your data stays here. So in this case, you can see clearly user profile, login and sign up. Usually, it's the person's details that you are aware of. FAQs is could be simple, static, and if you see what is the written policy. But in case there is a question you want to ask here, that is not listed down here. So what you can do in such case, yeah, like as you already know the Amazon and all, you would just post that on the product page, right? Like, is this particular product used for something else? And you might get an answer there. In such case, like this seems like a dynamic one. Like you post the question, someone sees that someone uses like might have been using that product before, and he could answer that, or else the seller will answer that. So these also like when you post this particular question, it also remembers your username. And that is also important, like who is asking the particular question. And also you want to know when you got the answer, who answered it. Is it the person who is using the product, or is it a fake review? That is also most important. So like you can observe that here there are four input data. One is like the question, the main thing, and the second main thing is the answer. And there are other two parameters, the person who posted the question, and the second other parameter is like the one who answered the question. Is the guy who already using the product, or is it a fake review, or is it like a seller review, I mean seller answer or something. So these kind of, but you can here you only see the like the question and answer, but in real case like those are required. You have to come up with those scenarios. So that's this basic thing. But when you try to design this kind of application, you need to have a flow diagram in your mind. Suppose say, uh, so you all know the flow diagram, like how to decide the decision making while designing an application. Anyone can answer that. If you know, yes. Otherwise, like if you know, you can say yes or else no. I just want to know the response so I can move on to further. No, like the flow diagram is nothing. It's like what are the steps you in order to develop an application. The first step is like the business rules and all. If you don't have, like if you don't know, don't worry about that. It's like mostly team leads will take care of that. Okay. But when you are given a task, what you need to know is like what you should be developing. That's main important thing. If you have question, you need to ask like what are the inputs I need to develop this particular feature or something. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, like I have only explained you this UI part and what are these data fields you need to consider. Like, do you have any questions?
No. No.
Okay. At least, am I clear to you all? Like, you understood my intention?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, right. Okay. Okay. The second next thing is like develop the UI part is done, and the second next thing is like the database part. The database part is very easy. You need to get come up with the data, and the data tables should be decided, and what table should have the what data. Like suppose say user profile is here, it comes under user data. So if there could be a table related to that, and there are products here, and the products and its data come under a product table, and the cart data here. And whenever you add it, like that the cart data stays there for several days. If you don't want to add up but you still want to add it, it stays for some days. And it also should be stored in the database table. It could be user cart data, something related to that. You need to decide that one. And the data structure you want to keep that in the table. Like in case for the user profile, it's usually your first name, last name, and your phone number, mail id, and your address. And all right, those are stored in the user table. In the products, like the first thing, it stores the product name and the product price and its category. If there are some specifications like a brand name or something. There are products like refrigerator is there. It's a product, but the refrigerator can like there are many vendors like Samsung, LG. There are many brands, right? Those some people like love the brand as well. They might want these kind of brands because they have some trust on it. Those kind of details you need to store that in the product table. cart is something related to this product. You can just, if there is an ID, a primary ID in the sense like there's like for every table that it's a primary ID is required because the database can easily handle based on that ID. It's like a strategy for the database to get the data very quickly. A kind of indexing, primary ID is a kind of indexing. Like whenever you are, suppose say we have all been through college, right? There you are assigned with a particular ID or a roll number because the entire state has so many students. In order to like handle them all very clearly, the particular ID is given to you. And in the same way, the database ID works as well. It's called primary ID. Based on that, you can just there's a particular product in the product table. That particular ID can be put in the cart. You can easily access from that ID the product, like what kind of product you have added to your cart. Yeah, this is the database table, very basic one. But there are complex operations, but that you need to know. And the next thing, the main thing for us is the Spring Boot application. You might have the doubts like why Spring Boot application. The reason is Java. There is a framework. It's called Spring, and the Spring framework has a huge community, and they actually help us, like help developers to build such a products, and it can be used to develop an enterprise application in general, and the applications are run smoothly, very smoothly. So for the Spring Boot application has some properties. Whenever you develop an application, there are certain things you need to configure in order to interact with the database or else like any other third-party apps. Anything. These things are actually uh, quite hectic when you configure at first time. So the Spring Boot, it's a nice framework. It actually provides a auto configuration properties. Based on that, you don't have to work too hard on that. It will take care of these configurations, but you need to provide some properties there. Based on the provided properties, it can take care of that configuration. And the main thing you should do as a developer, you need to focus on the logic, like how do you want to develop the application. Suppose say here I'm hovering the cursor on the product category. There are two products here, right? So I'm clicking on home appliances. I'm getting these ones, right? How the application knows, like where to go and where to fetch the data. But all the UI part will do, it will throw a request to the server and saying that I need home appliances, all home appliances. It doesn't have this data. It's a dynamic data in case. But as of now, it's a static content here, but there is no backend application. So what the UI part do, it will make a REST API call or HTTPS call, and the HTTPS call reaches our server based by the host address, and it will retrieve the data from the database and it throw back the response to the UI part. Okay. And how do you develop this one? How our Spring Boot application will handle the HTTP call and what kind of call is it? And when I say HTTP, let me show you. Okay, I don't want to confuse you as well. So HTTP, for now you can remember this way. HTTP is like, it's a protocol that you can interact with different servers throughout the internet. Okay, it allows you to interact with any server. It's a lightweight framework that's developed through the network interaction. Okay, and the same protocols we use on our Spring Boot, like we will develop a HTTP protocol APIs. The UI will interact with the server and from the server to database, and database the data we get from the database, and it goes to the UI part. You can see the here, like the UI part will make a call that it wants all home appliances, whatever there in this particular application. What the server part will do, it will query the data, like select star from the products table where the brand or the category of the product is home appliances. It will fetch the data, and from there it will give the response back to the UI part. And what the UI part will do, it will render the data. Render in the sense you can see the data here. Okay. And in case if I click on something else like kitchen appliances, the same way it asks the service server for the kitchen appliances data. and you will get the Kismet Pencils data from the server. You can see the part is on the UI part. It's a dynamic data. No, it's a static content. But in case if you develop an application, that should be a static, dynamic content. So if you see add to cart is there, you can ignore this add to cart here. It's only cart. You can see the cart. There is one item here, NAC, right? Yes, it is asking for some address to deliver something. So how do you know, how do you know that particular item is added to the cart? The UI part doesn't know anything except for the showing the data what it is getting from. So what the UI part do is like based on the user ID. So suppose say someone has logged in here, okay? Someone is wanted to check whatever the things are products added to the cart. He just clicks on the cart button. You can see like whatever the applications he has added. So generally the UI part, what it will do, it will take the someone's user ID in the backend. You might not see that one, and it will hit the server again. Says that whatever the someone has added to the cart, I want to know. So the server will check that select from cart table where the user ID is Sumant, and it will get the data, and you can see that here like this one. So that's the main step that service do. It won't do much it does all the complicated work, like interacting with the UI part and taking request and giving responses and fetching the data from the database table. Okay. So this is like the overview of any application in the like any web applications overview. Anyone has any questions? No. So far, like what you have been getting training on? Anyone knows like what Spring Boot is and how to design a Spring Boot application or develop a Spring Boot application? Anyone know like the Spring framework? Like anyone heard of it?
No.
No, right? Okay. So when you say no, like you need okay, like so far like what you know regarding Java or anything HTML or database. Hello. Guys, you need to answer this question because I think you are getting training on Java, right? Hello. Someone said yes or no?
There is no training from some days.
Okay. Okay, yeah, the first thing you need to do is like respond something. It could be either positive or negative. Like it won't hurt you, but you need to give a response that based on that. Like I can understand like what I need to teach or say something.
There is no training going on currently.
Okay. So okay, then you don't know like Spring Boot at all.
Yeah.
Okay, and mostly you are getting training on Java only.
Yes, in the beginning.
Okay. In such case, like in order to design an application, the first thing you need to have are the basic understanding of Spring. If you don't know that, if I say this, it would be like watching a Chinese movie with subtitles. Uh, but so far you understand this, right? Like what is my intention of what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right? Okay. Okay. I see only Samant is answering. Rest of you, I'm not sure. If you understood, please give me a thumbs up or something. Okay, got it. So Navina, like I have given them the basic overview. Okay. And
Sorry, Praveen.
no, I have only given them the basic overview, like what is an application, like what are the
Yeah. Just for overview.
yeah.
So I will explain that in detail. Like still, there is no Spring Boot applications and all. Still need to teach them. They don't know the Spring Boot applications also. Just for review also. This one.
Okay, okay, understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I got it. So then, like the overview is completed. It seems like they have given the thumbs up that they have understood. If that's all fine, then we can wind up the call. And team, like if you have any questions, it could be a silly one related to like what is application or anything. Feel free to ask it. No.
Uh, so this is a kitchen related ఒక APK like సో తను మీకు ఓన్లీ బ్రీఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ ఇచ్చారు లైక్ అంటే ఎలా ఉంటుంది అనేది ఒక ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు సో ఎలా దానికి ఏమేమి యూస్ చేయాలి అనేది సో ఐ థింక్ everyone have idea data any database like SQL and all any on database anyone know about the Spring Boot application Spring Boot framework sorry
No.
Praveen garu, without Spring Boot framework, so we can't do that, right?
No, yeah, because yeah, they need to know like there are
Yeah.
some operations they need to know unless they won't be able to do it.
So these guys are having only as of now only as a core Java only, so not a Spring Boot application framework. So I need to explain the Spring Boot framework and all. సో మీకు ఇది లైక్ బ్రీఫ్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ అర్థమైందా సో ఎలా ఉంటుంది ఒక మీకు ఇది ఇచ్చిన టాస్క్ మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఇది మీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ రిలేటెడ్ సో జస్ట్ మాకు ఒక టాస్క్ ఇచ్చారు సో కిచెన్ రిలేటెడ్ సో ఇలా ఉంటుంది జస్ట్ ఒక బ్రీఫ్ అనేది మీకు ఎలా అర్థం అవడానికి చూపించారు సో ఇస్ ఎవ్రీవన్ అండర్స్టూడ్ రైట్ వాట్ ప్రవీణ్ ఇస్ సేయింగ్ అబౌట్ దట్ application
Yes, Praveen.
yeah okay Praveen Praveen I will teach that Spring Boot framework from tomorrow onwards.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Guys, if you have any doubts, please ask to Praveen. Otherwise, he'll leave it. So we have our other meeting and all. Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Okay. Thank you.
Got it. Thanks, team. Then I'll drop off Naveen.
Yeah, Praveen. You can.
Thank you.
Yeah. So everyone understood the concept, right? So just for a brief introduction of a task. Okay. సో మీకు ఇచ్చే ఏపీకేస్ కూడా ఇలా ఉంటాయి అనమాట సో యాజ్ పర్ యువర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ విల్ గివెన్ ద రివ్యూ ఫర్ ప్రవీణ్ సో దిస్ ఇస్ ఫర్ యాక్చువల్ ఏపీకే ఫర్ యువర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఓకే సో మీకు ఇచ్చిన ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఏపీకేస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో సో అందులో ఒక ఏపీకే మాకు ఇచ్చారు సో ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని చెప్పడానికి సో ఇందాక మీకు ప్రవీణ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారు కదా సో అదొక వన్ ఆఫ్ ద అప్లికేషన్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అదొక ఏపీకే ఓకే సో బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దట్ మనం ఎలా వచ్చి బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ లో మనం ఒక అప్లికేషన్ సపోజ్ ఇప్పుడు సైన్ అప్ సపోజ్ ఒక ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి ఉంది సో లాగిన్ ఉంది సో ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఎంటర్ చేశాను సో లాగిన్ క్లిక్ చేశాను సో అది బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ లో ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతుంది అనేది ఎవరికి తెలియదు ఓన్లీ ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ లో మనం లాగిన్ క్లిక్ చేసే వరకే మనకు తెలుస్తుంది రైట్ సో బ్యాక్ ఎండ్ లో ఏమవుతుందని మనకు తెలియదు సో అది మనకి అర్థం అవ్వాలి అంటే సో మనం ఒక కోడ్ అనేది రాయాలి సో యూజింగ్ అ స్ప్రింగ్ బూట్ అప్లికేషన్ ఓకే స్ప్రింగ్ బూట్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ ఎలా యూస్ చేయాలి సో అది మనం అండ్ ఆల్సో ఒక డేటాబేస్ ఉండాలి ఇందాక ప్రవీణ్ గారు చెప్పారు కదా సో మనం డేటా అనేది ఒక డేటాబేస్ లో పెట్టుకోవాలి ఎందుకంటే ప్రైజెస్ అనేది ఇంక్రీజ్ అండ్ డిక్రీజ్ ఉంటాయి సపోజ్ గోల్డ్ రేట్ ఉంది సో ఈ రోజు గోల్డ్ రేట్ 7,000 ఉంది అనుకోండి గ్రామ్ సో నెక్స్ట్ డే అండ్ టుమారో 7,500 ఉండొచ్చు ఎస్టర్డే 6,000 ఉండొచ్చు సో అలా డే బై డే ప్రైజెస్ అనేవి వేరే అవుతుంటాయి అనమాట సో అలాంటప్పుడు ఏంటి అంటే మనం ఒక దాని రిలేటెడ్ డేటా అనేది మనం ఒక డేటాబేస్ లో స్టోర్ చేసుకోవాలి డేటాబేస్ లైక్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ లైక్ ఎనీ SQL MongoDB anything anyone have any idea about SQL or MongoDB anything
Yes.
okay so everyone knows or someone only someone Okay, so I need to explain the data SQL database also because I think only few members are know about that SQL. Okay, so I will teach that Spring Boot and SQL. Okay.
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 Okay, if you guys have a recording session for this session, if you want, I will provide it. Otherwise, no. You have it. You have a recording session for this today Praveen explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have a run? I need to send it.
We need the recording.
Sorry.
Yeah, I need the recording.
Yeah, sure. I will send it. Okay, guys. Tomorrow we'll start the Spring Boot applications, and so everyone have Eclipse in their systems. Eclipse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Naveen.
Okay, I will send a Spring Boot framework link also. So please, everyone need to install that Spring Boot framework. Okay, so I will send it to Pallavi, so she will share you. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. So tomorrow we'll meet you on the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you.